welcome again to our channel, our platform, this King's Heritage Health Services platform. Continue with our book review, No Business Like Love Business. And by the grace of God, today we are going to be looking at chapter 6 of the book. We're going to be looking at chapter 6 of the book. Don't forget, I still remain your friend, your consultant, your sister, your daughter from Get Heritage. Money loses value, titles fade, beauty wrinkles, fame evaporates, but love never depreciates. Yeah, love never depreciates. This is one of the virtues that I want all of us to, invest into. By the grace of God, I believe we still remember the name of our author for this book, Pastor McPaul I. Okolo. God has been good to us. We've been able to work on chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, and by the grace of God, today we're going to be looking at chapter 6 of this book. Enlightening self-interest. That is chapter 6 of this book. No love like love business. So effectively in the love business, you must first eliminate your largest single liability, self-interest. The greatest enemy to love is not hate, but the subtle, prideful obsession with one's own comfort, status, and rights. This is the sole game of pride, where if I win, you must lose. Oh, is that? Price is the asset that must be liquidated immediately, or it will inevitably crash the entire enterprise. Let me take that again. Pride is the asset that must be liquidated immediately, or it will inevitably crash the entire enterprise. Oh, this chapter 2 is very interesting. The losing game of pride. Pride is the counterfeit currency of the soul. Oh, we get that. It makes you believe your personal achievements, lineage, and knowledge are valuable capital, when in the light of divine love, they are merely non-performing assets. Pride says, I deserve respect. I must be heard. I'm right. That is what pride used to say. Of course, we can say that. It is an unimaginable expense on the balance sheet of the spirit. Pride is the root of all boasting and envy, because it convinces you that your worth is relative to the failure or inferiority of others. This toxic mindset must be purged. It must be purged. It must be purged. This mindset must be purged. The cost of love. The love task is necessary. Let me take that again. The cost of love. The love task is the necessary, intentional, and voluntary giving up of your rights for the sake of another peace and spiritual profits. Wow. It is one time massive surrender of the rights to be offended, the right to defend, the right to demand fairness, and the right to seek revenge. Cost of love. This task is not paid to men, but to God, and it opens up a massive line of credit in eternal capital. When you refuse to pay this tax, you are effectively declaring spiritual bankruptcy. Look about that. When you refuse to pay this tax, you are effectively declaring spiritual bankruptcy. The most profound example of paying the love tax is captured in the life of Saul of Tarsus. Later, Paul the Apostle He was a man with massive earthly capital. All of us who are scholars will know this, or Bible scholars will know this. Impeccable pedigree, Roman citizenship, and unparalleled intellectual authority. Yet, when he was captured by Christ's love, he performed a complete financial overhaul. He wrote, "What things were gains to me, these I have counted loss for Christ." Philippians chapter 3 verse 7. His credentials were not just discounted, they were declared worthless. Wow. He liquidated the entire portfolio of his former identity, his pride, status, and rights, to purchase the fine profit of knowing Christ. That's the cost of love. That's the cost of love. His subsequent ministry, full of hardship and sacrifices. His subsequent ministry, full of hardship and sacrifice, became the most financially successful missionary operation in the history because he had eliminated all self-interest from his accounting. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So let's go on. The true value of humility. Humility is not weakness. Of course, a lot of people used to say that. It is the strongest financial position a soul can attain. It is the acknowledgement that all true capital comes from God. All true capital, let us take that again. All true capitals comes from God. Humility is the engine of service, giving without expectation of return. In our previous chapter, we're talking about philanthropies, to those who just want to, do good, and then they use their left, right hands to gain back what they have given out. That is not love. That is not the love that God is talking about. When you operate from these balance sheets, you are immune to the market fluctuations of human opinion, insults, or betrayal. You are shielded from loss because you have already liquidated the only thing that could be truly lost, your pride. I want to say that again. If you are shielded from the loss because you have already liquidated the only thing that could be truly lost, your pride. This is chapter 6 of No Business Like Love Business. I tell you the truth, every capital comes from God. Yeah, that is chapter 6 of this book about the grace of God. As I said, you can grab a copy of this book from King's Heritage, head office, 291 Ikotun Road, Lagos. And then you can call on us on 08032890890. We'll remain your friend, we'll remain your daughter, your consultant, your carer from King's Heritage. Till we meet the next time, consider